Marcy. I am a crafter from northern Wisconsin. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. And if you are a returning friend, welcome back. It's so nice to have you all here. A couple things that I want to say before I get into it that I usually forget to say in my videos is that I blog over at amnaconstudio.blogspot.com. I am also on Instagram under the handle amnaconstudio, and I have a Patreon account, a free one, where I've loaded some project cards for cross stitch, knitting or crocheting or sewing that you can download for free and use for your projects. Okay, it has been about a week since I last recorded a Flosstube, and I'm trying to get back into a routine of things, so I thought I would just dive right back into it. I have some show notes. First thing I want to share is works in progress. I have one work in progress, and that is my flea market flowers that I'm doing as a stitch along with Alison over at Miss AZ Family Zoo and Mair over at Sin City Cross Stitcher. Here's my project card. Flea Market Flowers is by Lori Holt. I am using the called for colors on 14 count Eda white. And since this has been about a week since my last video, I don't have a whole ton of progress done, but enough that I want to share. That is where I am so far. That is the top corner right here. So that is the only thing that I've been working on cross stitch wise for the last week. Next thing I want to share, let me consult my notes. New Start, Lucky by Primrose Cottage, called for DMC. I dyed some fabric for this. I'm keeping it in one of my new project bags. Project card. I will put a picture of the chart right here so you can see it because it is a PDF. Let's see, best way to show this. Here is the fabric I dyed for it. It's kind of a light minty green, I'd say. These are the called for colors. I was trying to go for a light green wash so that especially this white would pop on there, but not so green that this color will blend in. And this is kind of more of a gray color. So I'm hoping very soon I can get this started and hopefully be done in time for St. Patrick's Day with it. The next thing that I have that I am going to start, again, very soon, is USA 250 by Wrought Iron Stitching. Project card. I'm using the called for DMC. It is in my project bag that I made. And this is the fabric that I dyed for it. Now the fabric I dyed has two very different sides, and I'm not sure which side to go with just yet. I'm still debating. Actually, the fabric, when I stitch on it, it'll go this way. Or should I go with this side? the called for fabric, or DMC. This is just like 5 colors. Oh, that ain't gonna work so great. Well, tuck it in on the fabric. I was trying to go for a brown background fabric. Again, something that all the colors will pop on, nothing will really blend in. I'm a little worried about this color, which is number 832. I will put a picture of the chart right here because it's another PDF that I purchased off of Etsy. So hopefully soon I will start this one. I'm just not sure when. And that is, well, no, I've got one more thing to share. Cross stitch wise, I mean. And that is that I dyed the color that I want to use for the fabric I want to use for this, which is going to be a stitch along with Alison over at Mrs. AZ Family Zoo. Project card is tucked in there. I'm using the call for colors, 14 count Eda, and I wanted to go with a green fabric, and that is what I got. Here's the colors to go with it. No, I dyed all 3 of those fabrics I just showed you. I dyed them in the same evening, and I really enjoy dyeing fabric because you never know what you're going to come out with. And I was a little concerned with the brown fabric that it was going to come out too dark, and it didn't. I actually had to remind myself that the fabric's going to dry lighter than what it looks. And then this one, actually it was pretty, I'd say it was pretty spot on for the brightness that I wanted to get. I started out with neon green, and then I added a little bit of, I think it was called true green or dark green. And I like that, the variation on this one. Like I say, when I did this fabric, I tried to do a tie-dye type thing where I took it from the center and I went like that and kind of mushed it together, because I was hoping that there would be a little bit of a bullseye to it, but didn't quite do that. But I think it shows that there was something going, well, see, now it's all wrinkled. But I think it shows that it's, you know, the color dyeing started in the center and kind of worked out, because everything seems kind of like that a little bit. So I'm very happy with how all the fabrics turned out. And I am slowly accumulating a collection of dyes to use for this as well. And that's just a lot of fun for me. That's what I've got for cross stitch. This week I did do some knitting, and the first thing I want to show is my vanilla sock that I'm using Patton's Croy sock yarn in the blue striped raglan. And the last time I showed it, I just had the leg of the sock done. And now I have the heel flap, and I've turned the heel, and I'm ready to start working on the foot of the sock and doing the decreases to get back down to 64 stitches. I'm almost ready where I feel comfortable enough to bring it back out into the car and just start working on it kind of mindlessly. So there's that. 60 rows on the leg. I think the next pair of socks I do, I might make at least 10 rows longer, just to see how it looks. And then the last one I have to share is my Armande Cardigan. Pattern is from knitty.com. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the designer. Yarn I'm using is Red Heart in the saffron colorway. Not too much progress in the last week, but enough that I felt to share. I've got about, that's where I was the last time I recorded. I've got about an inch done. So I'm still doing making the buttonholes and gradually increasing. And I pulled out a second row counter to help me keep track of how many rows for the increases. And I gotta say that helps a lot instead of trying to remember using my brain or writing down tick notes for keeping track. So that's where that is, and it felt good to be knitting again. Once I got over that little hump of, oh, I messed up something and I don't know if I should keep going or rip back. Things feel a lot more good now. Okay, that was all that. Life, the last couple of videos, one was a garden video. Doing this again because the greenhouse, indoor greenhouse is over there. Broccoli plants and I think my cabbage plants have sprouted already. Some of the lettuce, after I recorded, I planted some flower seeds and some of them have sprouted. The weather's been kind of all over the place again. We had some really nice weather and today is gray and I think lower 40s and it's supposed to rain. It was kind of drizzling this morning. I'm not sure what it's doing now. Life is just kind of quiet again. It's gonna be that way until the weather turns really nice and I'm able to get out and start doing things, start doing activities, fishing, gardening, moving around a little bit more. Trying to think if there's anything else. Nope, not yet. It's pretty quiet. It's gonna be pretty quiet for a little bit. I had vacation like a week ago. The coming back to work has kept me busy. And we're moving towards a publishing day and that's about that on that one. Sorry, I'm just not a lot going on right now. Something that I wanted to do in my last video that I didn't write down because I thought I was going to go back and rewrite the show notes was shoutouts. I wanted to do shoutouts the last one. I had a shout out from Jackie over at Cross My Stitches. Now, her and the other two I mentioned, well, one I've been watching a while, but two were brand new to me, and I think it was one of those things in the cross stitch groups where people mentioned that they had floss tubes, and one, I don't know, it's just kind of cool to realize you kind of interacting with somebody and then you realize that, hey, they have a floss tube. And in the one, I've realized that I've been watching them for a while already. But Jackie over at Cross My Stitches, she has some really beautiful stitches going on right now. And she did a whip parade not too long ago, and I was just amazed at how detailed it was and all the photos she still had of everything, because as soon as I have something up out on the internet or in a video, things are deleted. That's why a couple of times on my blog where I accidentally deleted something too soon, I go back to my Flosstube video and I do a screenshot of it. Anyways, another person that I was happy to find out that she does a Flosstube is Robin over at thriftyArtiststitching. She's recently retired and she's started this piece, I think it was a Hade, and it's like of a crane with a bunch of other stuff going on, and it is big and beautiful. And one of her last videos, I was actually watching it with my husband, and he was pretty impressed by this piece as well. So yes, sometimes husbands do pay attention to what you're watching. And this one, Eda and Amy over at Born to Stitch, they just made 1,000 subscribers, so congratulations to that. Turns out I had a conversation with Eda, and she mentioned something about, oh, don't you watch my Flosstube? Kind of cheeky. And I said, well, what is it? Or somebody did, I can't remember exactly what, and she mentioned it, and I said, oh my gosh, I watch you guys already. It's funny that, you know, how different you can see people like in video versus say a Facebook photo, because usually I'm looking on my phone, so the pictures are like the size of a quarter. So that was just like so fun to find out. So yeah, go check those 4 ladies. Go check out those 3 channels out. All right, so that is all that I have for this week. I felt like it wasn't much to share, but then I dyed that fabric and started getting things ready to go for future projects. So a little bit more, but that's that. So until next time, stay safe. Bye.